young Darian that wanted to see players that looked like her in these spaces with braids, with natural hair, looking swaggy on the field, not taking shit, talking shit, and having fun while they're doing it is so full circle to me. And watching these players now get paid, now get the recognition that they deserve, and win a gold medal while they're at it with a totally different look and style of play to this women's national team, I think has totally reset the way that, especially in the US, we look at what a soccer player is supposed to do, say, and look like. And so that was a really big moment for me this last year that just made my heart so happy and made young Darian feel honored that she gets to watch this and sit and talk about this with you guys and really watch history in the making, because I think that is going to reshape the way that we look at women's soccer in the US. The NWSL final was so different than one playing in it to going to it last year when I was working for CBS and A3 and also Gotham, where I think I had not a good relationship with how I was viewing myself retired and also watching my friends play the game. I didn't have it felt mentally really, really difficult for me to be in that. And after I got to be at the final this last year, where I was so happy to see everybody. I was so happy to be at CPKC Stadium and see the growth of the game and see this women's specific soccer stadium there, see my friends excel, all of the programming around women's soccer finally, where the final actually feels like a celebrity event that you want to be at, where they're offering players retirement plans and events to help them transition and make more money while they're playing and start businesses, and seeing big sponsors come in and want to elevate the game. It made my heart so happy. It was just very full circle for me, and it was very affirming, kind of what I said at the beginning, that I am just on the right path with what I'm supposed to be doing, that isn't me playing. And I think that's been a very hard journey to find. So that is my wrapped in a very long monologue way of saying that.
And I'm so proud of you, Darian. I think there's just like there's like that first year, you never know what to expect, but then something very special along the way happens. You get more and more reps, you spend more time together, and I can't help but echo your sentiments from earlier at the top of the show, where we have some of the best jobs in the world, let alone
Mhm.
this business, and the fact that we get to do this with each other is just the cherry on top of a very delicious Sunday. And so I'm very, very grateful for another 2024, another year of doing A3 and doing it with alongside all of you.
All right. Well, just as the umbrella, let's just talk about the records that were broken this year, and specifically the attendance records, the media records that were broken for the league. I'm The way that I looked at this is I took it from my perspective from when I was playing, because I would kill to be playing in this moment in women's soccer. I love that I'm peripherally a part of it in the media world now, but this is what I dreamed of happening. This is what I dreamed of with these records being broken, especially with Orlando Pride. That's the last team I got to play with, and seeing from that moment from when I retired to now how they brought in a proper GM who was just a badass. Seb Hines becoming one of the first Black coaches to win Coach of the Year and shatter records and shatter the way a coach should look like and how they should coach, how they should talk, and inspiring so many others who want to follow his suit and know now that that's possible. Um, Seeing my dear friends win a championship just makes my heart happy.
And being in this women's soccer space, covering it for as long as we have, everyone always talks about the growth and it's happening. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't always see it. And this year, I feel like more entrenched in women's soccer as I've ever been in my life, I could actively see the growth of this sport in the recognition of players like Triple Espresso with Trinity Rodman, Mal Swanson, Sophia Smith, but everything from the start of the year, the draft, the NWSL draft that ended up being the last ever draft. That's so much growth for the sport and for these players. And so my year started there, right? Getting to host that draft and being a part of history, essentially, as it was the last draft.
I've been thinking about it all year ever since it happened, but Mexico's big Gold Cup win against the United States women's
Yeah.
national team is way up there for me for a number of reasons, because that was also one of the things that really helped kind of kick off and kickstart attacking third. a number of us were on the ground. I remember being out there with Jenny Chu. Quick shout out to her. And seeing Jess Mack get involved in all this with attacking third as well, and CBS Sports was very, very cool. So it was just a really good feeling of like, this is us and this is what we're doing and this is what women's soccer deserves. And so seeing it all kind of in a big type of event scene like Gold Cup was really, really special. And being able to see Mexico kind of take these steps forward, seeing the belief in these players, and kind of knowing that this has just been something that has been worked towards for a very, very long time. To watch it all kind of come to life was so special. And that win really happens because there was an incredible goal by Ovalle, and her Gold Cup goal for me is massive. That, again, talking about things that have it stuck with us all year, that is something that has stuck with me all year. Just an incredible player. And that was also something that was really, really cool. I think when we were recapping Gold Cup back in the day, I think I mentioned that to you all, that some of the really special things that happened during that time was watching so many other people fall in love a little bit with that Mexican women's national team, and sort of seeing this very special player that a lot of Mexican fans have known about for years, because this is one of the players that started very early on in Tigres Femenil in their beginnings, and she's been a superstar. So she's been the magic. And now with these types of tournaments, you get introduced to new eyeballs and casual fans. And so now so many people know the name Ovalle. And so I think we're going to only continue to hear that moving forward. And it just felt like a really special year to just sort of see so many other Latinas in football reach these sort of pinnacles, whether it was Ovalle getting those special moments, or again, Marta. I think we're going to be talking about her a lot during this reflective segment, but seeing Marta go through her season with Orlando Pride, and even alongside with Brazil at the international stage during the Olympics, and watching her reach all these pinnacles and continue to check off things on her sort of accolades list, and still be that very, very influential player and person for so many people in the space, was incredibly fulfilling for me on a personal level. So I always will want to sing the praises of Latina people in football, and I love that so many of them were part of so many highlight reel type of moments in 2024. Ovalle and Marta just being two of them.
A big highlight for me was triple espresso.
Yes.
Watching these players at the Olympics and seeing 3 Black women finally at the front line for the women's national team score 10 out of 12 goals at the Olympics to win them a gold medal made my young Darian that wanted to see players that looked like her in these spaces with braids, with natural hair, looking swaggy on the field, not taking shit, talking shit, and having fun while they're doing it, is so full circle to me. And watching these players now get paid, now get the recognition that they deserve, and win a gold medal while they're at it with a totally different look and style of play to this women's national team, I think has totally reset the way that, especially in the US, we look at what a soccer player is supposed to do, say, and look like. And so that was a really big moment for me this last year that just made my heart so happy and made young Darian feel honored that she gets to watch this and sit and talk about this with you guys and really watch history in the making, because I think that is going to reshape the way that we look at women's soccer in the US. A huge moment for me, though, was the interview I got to do with Marta. She's a player I know all of us have admired since we ever started watching the women's game, and who we modeled our games after, who inspired us to know that it's possible to play at a level that she played at and look good, feel good, be kind of a bad bitch while you're doing it. She is that woman. And I'm so honored I got to play with her. And then the fact that I got to sit down and do an interview with her where we just got to talk about her journey and how she wants to leave the game and continue to make the game better while she's playing. And it was a very full circle moment for me.
The Orlando Pride and all the records they broke this year. I mean, of course, winning the Shield, winning the NWSL championship, Marta and everything. But the fact that Orlando went 24 games unbeaten, dating back to 2023, like that was so cool. That was a moment of like, wow, this team is doing things that no one else is doing. And then they bring in freaking Barbara Banda, and she joined this league in April. April 19th, and she changed football. Watching her play was so cool because in her first 12 games, she had 16 goal contributions, 12 goals, 5 assists. That is insane. It was
So
like
good.
fireworks constantly. The constant record-breaking transfer fees for Rachel Kudananji to Bay FC and then Barbara Banda. That was something that was really cool to see. And that's what I mean about like the tangible growth that I could see and feel this year covering this sport.
And of course, I'm going to give a special shout out to the gold medal win for the U.S. women's national soccer team, because that was incredible to watch as well. Because within that, getting to witness this sort of comeback year for Mallory Swanson, I think was really, really special as well. I don't know if it was something that we talked about enough. It was such a horrific injury that we saw her sustain in 2023 to the point where it absolutely affected their 2023 World Cup. I think now knowing the run that they had in the Olympics confirms that even more so. But this is a player that does so much on the pitch for club and country and kind of walks away with like very little recognition for her role in those things. I mean, she puts together MVP caliber type of seasons for Chicago and doesn't make, MVP finalist list or get the votes. And we see sort of these very global awards come in and she doesn't get the recognition really there either, but she just goes out there and continues to do her job and be productive. This is a player who in 2023 went out with that horrific injury and yet still ended that year as the leading goal scorer for the United States women's national team. That's how impactful and important that player is. And the fact that we got to see her not only return to play from such a very serious injury, but do it in a way where she had so much success for club and country, I think is incredibly special. So shout out to all these incredible individual players for a great 2024.
We also said goodbye to so many legends this year. And those are memories that will stick with me because I grew up watching them. Alex Morgan, when she announced that she was retiring and then that she was pregnant, expecting her second child, that was like a big moment for me because I grew up watching Alex Morgan. And then we got to cover her final game on CBS. And Darian and I wore pink pre-wrap and we just got to talk about her for days on end. And the fact that it was so quick, but also so meaningful and her career was so meaningful for what she had done on and off the pitch. That to me was a really big moment this year, getting to cover that, having the first NWSL built stadium in CPKC and getting to go there and having them sell out every single home game and everything domestically that happened, but then internationally at the Olympics, getting to watch 56 NWSL players compete at the world stage at the Olympics, representing 11 of the 12 Olympic teams there. It was so cool. The growth of women's soccer and women's football is absolutely real this year. Even at the Olympics Canada, right? They went undefeated in their group stage. They got docked points. They went through everything. A 6
Drone gate.
Drone gate that happened.
Oh, shit.
You forgot about Drone gate, didn't you? There's
Yes,
so much. I mean, there's like lists and lists to go upon. Let us know your favorite, your most memorable moments of 2024, right? Seb Hines becoming the first Black coach to win an NWSL title. Emma Hayes taking over for Twyla Kilgore. I don't even know, guys. Gotham FC signing all the U.S. women's national team players to their roster. All the retirements that happened with Alex Morgan, Merritt Mathias, Sinead Farley, Kelly O'Hara, Desiree Scott, Christine Sinclair, Becky Sauerbrunn, Alyssa Nair internationally, right? Brazil being named host country for 2027 Women's World Cup, and then all the records that were broken. Temwa Shawinga going on an absolute tear. What am I missing, guys? What else stands out to you?
CBA 2.0. I'm here for it. It's such a good one too. It's something that I love to see. You could see how it's empowering players already. And I think that's what's so special about that type of moment coming into play. It's hard not to get a little bit verklempt or emotional going through some of these things or recapping some of the year with the two of you. Women's soccer, women's sport, it gives and gives and gives, and very rarely does it receive. So the fact that we're going through all of these things in which we're noting the change, and it's so important that you say that, Lisa, that you can actually feel it and see it, it means so much. So, here's to 2025, and hopefully there's a little bit more the other way for women's sport.
Oh, I love it.
We need our drinks. We need to cheers.
Toast.
Virtual toast and
Cheers,
cheers.
SodaStream, sponsor us.
My
Cheers
loteria.
to us, to everyone that listens and watches Attacking Third, to 2024 and all that it brought us, all the celebrations, to the U.S. winning gold, to Orlando doing the double, winning the Shield and the championship. To everyone, guys, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of it. We so appreciate you. We'll see you in 2025.